Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Erica, and today I'm going to talk about a video that I saw another commentary creator, Not Another Housewife, post. Now, if you don't know who Not Another Housewife is, she makes a lot of videos that are critical towards the anti-family vlogging community. And I mean, I do appreciate that she offers a different perspective because sometimes things can feel like everybody's saying the same thing. But I did have some criticism towards, I don't think it was her most recent video while I'm recording this, but it was one of her more recent videos about how the anti-family vlogging community only talks about the bad things family vloggers do, and they don't talk about the good things. She used the specific example of the YouTuber Jess Fam, who I guess in like a Q&A, she said she no longer features her son on her channel because he doesn't want to be featured. So, according to that, if we're going to take that at face value, who Jess is listening to her children and Jess is using what her children say to continue on with her channel. And that may be true, and if that is true, that's great. But it also may not be true, because you have to remember, Jess's kids, there's a wide range of ages. I don't know their exact ages, but I know she has quite a few children. There's nothing wrong with that, but not all of her children can give informed consent. So that doesn't matter if, I mean, of course, it's better to ask your children than to not ask at all. But even if a young child, let's say, and this is just a random age I picked out, let's say the child is 11 years old. If I was 11 and my mother had a family vlogging channel and she asked me, would you like to be featured in this video? I would have no idea of the long-term consequences that could come with it. I would, I'm sorry, my cat likes the mop and it makes me laugh, but I would have no idea the long-term consequences of such a choice, and I would have no idea how many people would be watching and what it would mean for all these people to be watching that video. So I do think when family vloggers claim that their children give consent for them to be featured on the channel, I do think that's kind of BS, because that's not a thing. Like, if a child cannot give consent, then you asking them for consent does not count as them giving consent, if that makes sense. Another thing I wanted to talk about, though, is I feel like Marissa from Not Another Housewife paints all of the anti-family vloggers with a broad stroke. And I'm not saying this to shade her or shame her, because it's definitely something I've probably been guilty of at some point or another. But Marissa says all of the anti-family vlogging channels do not care, and nothing will ever be good enough for them.
Bring up a lot in the anti-mommy vlogger community that I don't feel like they actually want the moms to do better. I feel like they are filled with hate, saltiness, and bitterness. And it's not actually about protecting kids online or having the moms do better. It's just about calling them out, using whatever they can against these moms. And you can tell.
I don't believe that's a fair assessment. I do believe there are some very fair anti-family vlogging channels out there. Some of them may not be fair. I think that's a very objective thing. I don't think that one person is like the pinnacle and everybody should follow their lead. I think everybody goes about their channel differently, and that's okay. But I also don't think it's fair to lump people in with the Dad Challenge podcast when they are not engaging in the same type of behavior as Josh. Like, if you take Sincerely Sharon, you cannot really compare her to Josh, because she does not shame how people look. She does not hate on women for no reason. She does not use misogynistic arguments or ableist arguments or racist arguments. Like, yeah, she may cover some of the same things Josh covers, but she goes about it in my opinion, in a much more tasteful way than Josh ever could. But another thing I noticed with this is the aboutism that is present in this line of thinking. From what I could gather, Not Another Housewife was basically saying, if you make this type of content and you do not then address this specific issue, you are a hypocrite, or you're not being an honest creator.
Interesting that none of the anti-mommy vlogger channels have posted about this. I have not seen one video, and Josh made this post back in January of 2022, and I haven't seen anybody, unless I missed it, applauding Jess and praising Jess and talking about her decision to not talk about her daughter's periods. Why are there no videos being made? People jump and immediately post when the moms post. So why wasn't this talked? I'm very confused as to why people are still pushing.
And I don't agree with that, because here's the thing. A lot of smaller channels, and I don't say that to shade anybody, because I consider myself a smaller channel, but I'm talking like under 50,000 subscribers. A lot of those channels do not do YouTube full time. It's a hobby or a way to make extra cash, or just something people like doing. They're not making videos constantly, and even if they are, they have to pick and choose what they're going to cover. Maybe they did not see that video that Jeff has posted, or maybe they didn't think they had enough to say about it. And there are a lot of times when I'll consider making a video on a specific thing, but for some reason or another I won't. Whether it's something came up in school or in my personal life, or I'm trying to apply for a certain job, or just sometimes I feel burnt out. then I won't make a video on a topic. Or if I don't find something interesting and I cannot really put my energy into something, I'm not gonna make a video on it just to make a video.
Also wanted to add, I am so sick of Josh making periods and things like that something creepy and weird. He's acting like weird, like peas are asking about the periods and stuff. It's more than likely that moms or teenagers are asking about that stuff so they can.
One thing I forgot to add in the original video was that Marissa said a lot of people found Jessica's talk of her daughter's periods to be gross, and I don't think that's the case. Obviously, I cannot speak for other creators, but I think people just meant that it's not for Jessica to be sharing with the world. Not that it's taboo or gross, just that should be something an individual is able to share and not have shared on their behalf. And I think it's kind of a straw man argument to say that people are saying she shouldn't do that because it's disgusting. I think some people use the word disgusting because they find such an invasion of a young person's privacy to be disgusting, but not the period itself. But of course, I can only speak for myself. I don't think whataboutism is very productive because there's no end to it. You can always say, well, you criticize this, but what about this? It's never going to end. I think there's a lot of pressure on smaller YouTubers especially to cover every single thing. We are just human beings. A lot of us for a lot of us it's a one-person operation, meaning we don't have editors, we don't have people to research for us. It's just us on our phones or on our cameras. And I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, oh my God, it's so much work. But I am saying that we can't possibly talk about everything, even if our niche is fairly narrowed down and it's very specific. We still cannot possibly cover everything in that niche, and I think to expect people to is unfair. I also think maybe people saw Jess say that and they felt the way I do, that and like, that's nice, but a lot of your kids cannot give informed consent. So while the sentiment is there and the intention is there, in practice it may not work out the way that it should. And that's my opinion. I cannot speak for other YouTubers. I can only speak for myself, but that's my opinion on that. I will say I don't consider my channel to be an anti-family vlogging channel, so I don't think Marissa directed any of this about me, because I just cover a range of whatever I feel like talking about, and I've made that clear from the beginning. But this isn't to shade Not Another Housewife, because I think a lot of people, and at least I can speak for myself, I am guilty of whataboutism at times when I don't know what other argument to make. I'm just like, oh, well, what about this? But I think it's important to take a step back and think, yeah, well, like, is this ever going to end? Because we can just keep saying, what about? But there's always going to be another, what about this? What about that? But we're human beings. We can only do what we can do, and we're only interested in what we're interested in. We only have so much time, so much energy. It's not infinite. Infinite. I don't know why I said infinite, but anyway. I know this was a pretty quick video, but that was all I really had to say. If you learned something or if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Again, I'm not telling you to unsubscribe from anybody or that anybody's a bad person, because I really don't think any of the parties mentioned are bad people. I just think I just have my opinions on certain actions they take, and that's fine. I'm sure they have certain opinions on actions I take, but that's it for this video. And if you would like to see more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.